I have never made this stew before, but because I know my flavors and spices, I can make anything taste good, and so can you. Let's first start with our steamed bulgur. I always wash and rinse my bulgur before I cook it. And when you're washing it, you will see these little things floating up. I don't know what it's called, but it's part of the bulgur. And you want to rinse those things out of the water. I wash my bulgur about 2 times and then rinse it. And then I fill my pot with just the perfect amount of water. And I believe that every part of the cooking process is so satisfying. Even the part when you're washing and rinsing your bulgur, connecting with the water, feeling the textures of the bulgur. And y'all, tell me you are from the Caribbean without telling me you're from the Caribbean. I can't be the only one who measures her water like this. And if you really want to measure, 1 cup of bulgur equals 1.5 cup of water. Now let's move on to preparing our ingredients. Key ingredients: lots of garlics, onion, hot pepper, Irish potatoes, and yard long beans. You really don't need much. I tell you, you can make the most amazing stews with the most simple ingredients. Now today I was really in the shop and wondering like, what the heck am I going to eat today? I literally almost made brown bean stew again, but I couldn't do that because I literally ate that like 2 days ago. I recently posted the recipe video, so you can go check that out. But hey, I couldn't make brown bean stew again. And curry, not today. So I really stood there in the store and I was just there tapping in. I'm like, Spirit, what are we eating today? I knew that I wanted to eat bulgur. I knew that I wanted to eat yard long beans. Not per se that I wanted to eat yard long beans, but that's all they had in the store. And I needed to eat some vegetables. I knew I didn't want to eat them in curry. I also knew that I didn't want to eat them in brown stew. And then I remembered a long time ago I made this amazing tomato stew. But then I also remembered that I made it with mushrooms and I did not have mushrooms today. So I thought, okay, what can I add to this dish? Something that will make it more rich. Irish potatoes. And what if we want it richer? Coconut milk. Yes, listen, coconut milk does wonders. So to get the most perfect steamed bulgur, you're gonna cook it on high heat without the lid on until all the water has evaporated. Once that is done, you're gonna turn down the heat to the lowest, put on the lid and allow it to steam. Now let the real cooking begin. Start by caramelizing your onions. You want to do that until you can smell the aroma, see your onions getting softer and slightly brown before you add your garlics and your hot pepper. Now allow the caramelization process to continue for a minute or two and let those ingredients merge together. Then add your bay leaves and pimento seeds for that extra flavor. And I've heard people say they don't know why they add bay leaves and pimento seeds to their stews. They just add it because the recipe calls for it. And I tell you, it really adds depth to your stews. And once you start to understand these ingredients, you will know exactly when and when not to use them. Now the next thing I did after sauteing my ingredients is cut my potatoes in wedges and then let that fry for about 3 minutes. Let all those spices, all those aromas merge into those potatoes. Girl, I almost said tomatoes again. And because tomatoes have a slightly sour taste, I used sweet seasoned soy sauce to balance those flavors before I added my tomato paste. Now stir a bit in the pot, allow that sauce to evenly spread out, and then let that cook for a few minutes. After cooking it for a few minutes, you're gonna add 2 tablespoons of tomato paste and just enough water to cover the potatoes. Now you're gonna stir in the pot until the tomato paste has completely dissolved and merge with the water and the rest of the ingredients. And then once that is done, you're gonna add some vegan vegetable stock cubes. Of course, you can also choose to use pink Himalayan salt, whichever you prefer, but this is what I used today. And like I said before, adding coconut milk to your stews does wonders. And some of you might think coconut milk with tomato sauce? Girl, let me put you on because you've been missing out. Coconut milk not only brings creaminess, but it also adds a tropical and slightly nutty vibe to your stew, and it brings you back to the Caribbean. And what it also does is melt all those spices, all those seasonings together, enriching your stews and elevating the overall tastes and textures. So we added coconut milk, y'all, and I promise you it does wonders. Now the last thing we added is oregano powder, and this adds this slightly Italian flavor to your stew, and it's amazing. Now add the cover to your pot and let everything cook for about 10 to 15 minutes until your potatoes are slightly soft. And once that's the case, this stew is almost ready to go. But before we go, we're gonna add our yard long beans. I choose to add my yard long beans when my stew is almost done because I just love it when my vegetables are crunchy and not soggy. So after adding your yard long beans, give it about 5 to 7 minutes to continue cook. Make sure to cover your pot. And then before you think your stew is ready, girl, I kid you not, this was amazing and it will definitely not be my last time making this stew. And as the cooking process continues, you will see that your stew gets thicker and thicker, and that's the perfect texture we are going for. Now, if you're ready to elevate your plant-based journey, Caribbean style, I say click the like button, subscribe to the fam, so you can get access to all the recipes I will be posting here. And for more in-depth recipes, of course, you can get my cookbooks. I will make sure to pin them in the description box. And oh my gosh, next year May, I am hosting a plant-based wellness retreat in Portland, Jamaica. And you got to be there, girl. Ancient herbal knowledge, cooking classes, adventures, fun, tapping into nature, tapping into yourself, connecting with like-minded people, and simply having the best time of your life, girl. Join us.